So in today's video, I wanted to talk about, the differences between a solo through hike and a group start through hike. And basically, I'll talk about which one is better for me, and you can kind of see and judge for yourself the different pros and cons when it comes down to starting solo and possibly even going all the way solo. Maybe hiking with a couple people here and there, but just kind of being the captain of your own ship and going to a trail town, getting your own hotel. And there's some people that actually do that. I mean, they mingle with hikers on the trail, and then they stay at hotels by themselves, and then they just kind of, go in and out of trail families, and they kind of hike at their own pace, and they have a great time hiking. For me, for example, when I first started the Appalachian Trail in 2017, that was like, I've never even really set up a tent before. So starting by myself just seemed at a point where it just seemed impossible, and I was happy to have another hiker, Treehouse. If you're watching it, shout out to Treehouse. And before we started the trail, we talked and motivated each other. We talked about different sites we want to see. We talked about our gear choices. We talked about our training and just went over everything. And when we first started, I was lucky to have people around me. So if I had a question or I didn't know something, there was people that had more knowledge than me, and they were able to help me. So if I started by myself, I would have been lost those first couple of days. I needed to have other people there. And if you have nobody to start your through hike with, you're all alone, you're by yourself, you're not in a hiking group, and you're maybe 20, 21, you're planning on starting the Appalachian Trail or maybe a different long trail, don't be too scared about it. Just kind of calm yourself down, and you got to realize that there's a lot of pros to starting a trail by yourself. And the pros is you're going to meet more people. When you're by yourself, like, you have to go up to people and talk to people, and you're more sociable. You might go into a shelter just because you've been hiking all day by yourself, so you might go to that shelter out of your way to have lunch, and you're going to meet more people and maybe hike with other people that way. So don't be afraid of starting the trail if you have nobody. And there were times on the Appalachian Trail where I was all by myself, like parts of Vermont and Maine on my first through hike, and it's lonely. It definitely gets to a point where, like, I was hiking in Vermont, and every tent site is just, it's scary setting up your tent by yourself in the dark. If you're hiking up until late and you have to set up your tent by yourself and there's nobody out there, and every little shade looks like a monster, or it just gets to a point where it's scary, But at the same time, those kind of moments, they're like special because it's just you and the trail. So there's no distractions, there's no other people. You just really committed to the hike. You're all alone. You're kind of one with the wilderness more, if you can say it that way. A group start, benefits of a group start. Basically, what happens is, let's say you get to a town and you're hiking with a group of people. Instead of going to a hostel for $25, now you can stay at a hotel. You can split it with 3 people, and you're in a big, nice hotel room for, let's say, $60. So you're saving money. You might have a continental breakfast in the morning, so you're getting a free breakfast, and you're getting to stay at a hotel. So you can split costs. Another nice thing, for example, my second AT through hike, I was stoveless. And my girlfriend Julie, she had a stove, so we were able to kind of share gear. I would carry heavier foods sometimes out of town. She would have a stove for a while, so I was able to drink coffee, and you can split gear and not be as heavy. Your weight's not going to be as heavy. So hiking in a group that you trust, they're going to look out for you. Let's say you're the last hiker, and let's say something happens, your knee starts hurting you, Hiking in a group, you can call your friend and say, oh, okay, my knee's hurting me. Can you carry my pack, my pack down this climb? And somebody can come back and help you. So there's definitely benefits to hiking in a group. It's basically, let's say you're hiking by yourself. There was times where I was in Maine and I had, there was nobody there. I haven't seen a person for days. And I'm getting to these beautiful views and it's so great. And you're thinking to yourself, how great would it be to have another friend that's just walked over 2,000 miles and to share this view with you and just to talk about the moment, how the ups and downs and all this stuff. And I was just there. There was times I was there by myself, and even climbing Katahdin on my first thru hike, I climbed it. I was by myself. It was interesting, just kind of not having any other thru hikers there. You see thru hikers the whole trail, all the way up there, and then your last moment, you're all alone, and it's a really special moment that you've walked all those steps and you finally got there. And I was like, man, how nice would it have been to share it with another hiker. So I think hiking in a group, hiking in a trail family, there's a lot of times where it just beats hiking by yourself by a lot. And then the only cons I would say of hiking with a trail family is, let's say you don't want to be doing 20 miles back to back to back, doing 20 plus miles. You want to do a short day, and then you've been hiking with this trail family and they're all doing a certain mileage, and then you might be hurting or you might be wanting to take a zero, and then you're like, okay, I can't let them down, they're part of my trail family. It's what am I supposed to do? Do I risk injuring myself, I'm already hurting, to keep up with these people, or do I just go my own route? And I think at times like this, you have to realize that you want to make your hike also your hike. So even though hiking with the trail family is amazing, you have to think about yourself and your priorities. So if your priority is to finish the trail and you're getting worn out, just do your own mileage. Don't get mixed into a trail family where you have to be doing a certain mileage. And the same way goes if there's a trail family that they're taking a zero in every single town, and you're somebody that wants to just keep hiking because that's what you enjoy doing. Just keep hiking. Don't adjust your hike to a point where you have to think, oh, okay, I have to hike all the way with this trail family. So there's definitely a lot of pros and cons that you gotta weigh out for yourself. And I think the way my hikes have worked out, I was lucky enough to just kind of be at the right place at the right time. When the trail was hard, a lot of times I would have other hikers with me to kind of motivate me. But most of my hikes, I didn't stick with the trail family and hike with them, all the way up. So it's just at a point where you gotta decide for yourself. And having a trail family is definitely a wonderful thing, or even having other hikers with you on trail is definitely a wonderful thing. So a solo thru hike or a group thru hike, it's one of those things you gotta weigh out the pros and cons of each one and decide for yourself. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you like the content, please feel free to hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next time.